It's no secret at this point that Homefront The Revolution had, shall we say, a troubled development. It took several reboots and its first publisher going into liquidation before Homefront The Revolution from Dambuster Studios was actually ready to be released. Now, when it came out, it got middling reviews, which reflected the rather stormy development cycle that it's gone through, and while some story DLC and a patch have since helped right many of its wrongs, we all know that the launch is everything. Now, while you can recover from a bungled launch, it definitely doesn't help, especially when your game has already dragging the ball and chain of its years of development and very troubled development behind it. Now we have some comments from the publisher Deep Silver, who spoke to MCV about Homefront, and they were pretty frank about the fact that the game was less of a success than they hoped, and the company's global brand and marketing director Paul Nichols pointed to the quality of the final product and timing as crucial to the process of actually having a successful launch. And he said, quote, "We have learned some big lessons from Homefront. You can see in the market at the moment, quality is absolutely king, and some big IPs have struggling figures at the moment. We have learned a lot of lessons about what to do going forward. Not just the quality of the product, but when we launch as well. The team at Dambuster did a fantastic job with what the team there has done, getting the product patched and so on. The sentiment with consumers has really turned around. We're getting a lot of positive feedback compared to when we launched. The timing was probably the biggest lesson we have learnt there." Now this does seem a bit of saving face, to be honest. I mean, timing is critical, don't get me wrong. I have said that I think the reason that Dishonored 2 isn't doing well as the original is because it's come out in the incredibly crammed November period when you've got big heavy hitters coming out like Call of Duty, you've got Titanfall, you've got Battlefields, you've got Final Fantasy 15 in a couple of weeks' time, and obviously people only have so much time and money for big AAA video games. And of course that's a thing that everyone's been saying about Titanfall 2 as well, that the fact that's not doing very well has been directly linked to the release being so close to Call of Duty and Battlefield 1, but of course that's because the genres are literally the same. Now while Titanfall 2 is different from Call of Duty, they're still both first-person shooters, and when one has Call of Duty in the title, that one has the advantage. So this does seem a bit like, yeah, it was timing, guys, like Titanfall 2, but obviously there are other concerns to take into consideration, such as the pre-launch footage looking dated, looked poorly optimized, the feedback from testing sessions wasn't great. People went to things such as, say, PAX and Gamescom and other such events and came back telling a fairly uninteresting story and a very disappointing story. So it does seem that they should have delayed the product so that these patches that have fixed the game could have been there at launch. But that's not really anything to do with timing, it's more just don't release a broken, unfinished product. That's not really timing. Timing is important, of course, as I just said, but I would say the issue here is more we should have waited until the game was ready to launch it, given that these patches and everything that's been updated seem to have fixed a lot of problems, but too little too late for many people, given that the very busy time of year we're in. While this game might be amazing now, oh, there's Dishonored and there's everything and there's all these shinies coming out, too many video games. You kind of get my point. So when it came out as this hot mess that was reviewed pretty middlingly and just seemed a big disappointment and kind of like, oh well, that was a shame after all that development, I'm not really surprised it didn't do well, to be honest. So really, they should have delayed it massively. They should have, closer to launch, gone, here's a demo or whatever, here's a code to a YouTuber that can show you the game, and people could say, oh, that looks much better than when I saw it at Gamescom or whatever. So yeah, that's my two cents on the whole Homefront The Revolution thing. I'll of course link the source in the description below, but do let me know your thoughts. What do you think were the issues behind Homefront The Revolution? Is it timing? Is it a broken launch? Is it both? Is it leprechauns? Let me know. I'll see you next time, guys. Thanks for watching.